Ho ho ho. Long, long time ago, in the land of milk and honey, where all diesel cars were allowed to drive and pollute as much as they wanted, some of them using DPFs, some of them not using DPFs, there was a nice, beautiful, and very, what's the word for it? And very thirsty BMW 5 Series. This 5 Series had a 3-liter engine that was outputting 245 brake horsepower, F10 generation from 2010. And besides being a beautiful and very thirsty car, from time to time its owner found himself needing to change the oil. Not knowing at first what oil to use, this owner has done a little bit of research and found out that his BMW would like to use BMW Long Life 4 approved oil, and it would require between 6.5 and 7 liters of this magical juice. Because the owner of the BMW wanted only the best for his BMW, he decided of using the Castrol EDGE 5W-30M engine oil from the guys at Castrol. Of course, no oil change is complete without the proper filter. And of course, the owner of this nice and beautiful BMW wanted to use a MAN filter, the 723X. This filter was also known by another long number that was highlighted in the picture that might be on my left, right, or somewhere on this screen. If other BMW owners would want a BMW specific filter, they could use the BMW number that will also be listed in this video. Once the owner of the BMW got all the things that he needed, he also checked for what tools he will need to do this massive undertaking to change all the oil and the filter for his car. He went and he found that he will need a 36mm socket for the oil filter, a 12mm socket for the oil sump, a 8mm socket for the sump cover, some ratchets and some extensions, a oil drain pan, and some towels and rags so that he doesn't get everything dirty. This being said, he also done the research to find out if he will require to do some special torquing. Torquing as in tightening something to torque, not the dance, the torquing dance. And of course, he found out that the oil filter should be torqued at 25 Newton meters and the sump plug will be torqued again at 25 Newton meters with a specially calibrated torque wrench. For those of you that have a newer BMW F10 generation, the filter is different and the socket will be a 27mm one in comparison to the 36, but that is for the facelift versions of the F10. And in this land of milk and honey and beautiful diesel cars that don't face extinction because of the new electric cars and global warming, in this beautiful world, after getting the parts, after sorting out the tools, the BMW owner had to do the work. Doing the research, he found out that BMW recommends that the engine is up to running temperature, and also BMW tells us that we should protect the alternator from oil and all sorts of other contaminants. So place a rag or place something on top of it so that you don't damage it. Okay, the BMW owner went and warmed up his engine. He placed it on a flat level surface and he proceeded in removing the engine cover, loosening the oil filler cap, lifting the car and removing the drain bolt cover. I'm not addressing how you will lift your car because I've done that in a previous video, so you can watch that one if you want to lift the car. I'm using a quick jack and my life is very easy. So we lift the car, we identified the drain bolt, we placed the rags surrounding the drain bolt so that when the oil will be dripping, you don't get it under your covers. and also you reduce the chances of doing a short circuit with your ratchet or wrench and the positive terminal from the starter motor. Okay, use common sense. Try not to get yourself burned with the hot oil, or at the same time try not to spill oil everywhere, because this lovely planet that we are inhabiting, this lovely planet that we are sharing, should be respected, and we shouldn't damage it. Okay, so the oil is draining in the drain pan. We go on the upper part of the engine, on top of the engine. We make sure that we have placed a rag on top of the alternator. We remove the oil filter with that 36mm socket and ratchet. We change the filtering element. We also change the sealing rings. When we will be refitting those, we will have to place a little bit of oil on the new rings. And after that, we torque the new filter to 25 Newton meters. In the pictures that you will see on the screen, you have some details, some detailed view of the filter, the filtering element, the rings, and the things that you should be mindful of. We fitted the oil filter. We go underneath the car. We clean the drain bolt area. We clean the drain bolt. We fit a new washer to the drain bolt, and we will torque the drain bolt and washer to 25 Newton meters. So for those of you that are not changing the washer, there might be a good idea for you to torque the bolt and the old washer at a higher value. I would advise for you to do it by hand. You will have a good feedback as where the limit would be. This being said, we finished with the drain bolt. We are cleaning the area with some brake cleaner for us to have a easier inspection further along the line. We refit the lower drain plug cover. We lower the car, and after this we can pour in the 6 to 6.5 liters of engine oil. After doing that, we refit the filler cap and we make sure that it is secured. We start the engine, we leave it to idle 40 seconds. We will stop the engine. Of course, we check for any oil leaks, especially surrounding the oil filter or in the engine bay. At this point, we should have checked that we didn't leave any tools in the engine bay, or we didn't forget anything behind of us. This being done, we can take the car for a short test drive to make sure that everything warms up. And on a flat surface, on a flat level surface, we will check with the iDrive the level of the oil. What I found is that usually I keep it for a few days with 6 to 6.5 liters of oil. After that, I check the level on the iDrive, and if I need, I will top it up as or when I see this as a requirement. This being said, we have done the oil change. We still need to reset the service reminder. We can do that with the dash. There is a shortcut with the instrument cluster that we can do to reset it. Or we can also use a diagnostic tool. The one that I'm using is the ISTA-D software. More on that subject in a future video. Now I hope that this video helps. If I forgot anything, or if you have ideas for future videos, please let me know in the comments below. Also, in the description you will have a link to an article in which this process is described more in details. If you have ideas, if you like it, or maybe if you don't like it, leave some feedback. Like, share and subscribe, or hate, unlike, and still subscribe. And until the next time, enjoy changing the oil on your BMW.